MP3 is meant to front end a sales process like Medic or Spin Selling or Challenger or any sales process that you're using. We want to be able to leverage the partner community to pipeline business. And so MP3 was sort of built with a front-end partner sales methodology that complements any sales methodology that a company may be using. There are 3 elements to this. It starts with revenue planning, and this was Brent's segue. What we do is we have tools that will take a revenue goal of some sort. We'll answer a set of questions around your solutions, your average deal size. We'll apply our methodology of moving downstream to active sellers, and our tool will start to spit out the plan and the metrics that you need to hit to ensure you make the number. So we'll tell you how many partners you need, how many active sellers, how many target accounts, how many outreaches. It'll go into every element, break it out by quarter. When do I have to pipeline these deals? How many target accounts do I have to light up? When do I expect revenue to show up? We'll get into all those details. We'll take that same revenue goal, apply it to a partner, and we'll run the metrics on a target account planning process, as well as a market development process of events, outreach, inbound leads, and we'll spit out how many people you have to pump through events, how many people you have to go and hit through an email campaign. We'll spit out how many inbound leads you're going to need. We'll spit out all the MDF based on your MDF policies, how much you would fund. So this gets into a lot of details, but essentially the Planning IQ software provides the revenue roadmap that we can now go back and put the details behind. If we have 26 partners that we need, who are those partners? Let's score those partners. We need 883 seller units. Who are those salespeople going to be? We can go through that process. So this maps it all out. Your thoughts on that, Brent?
Yeah, I mean, the first one that I'd call out, just to be really specific, is a lot of people can back into a quota number and say, hey, I need so many deals, I got a close rate. Okay, I can figure out, how many deals I need to get to that number. This is taking it several steps further, which is the front end of that process. So how many outreaches, how many cold calls, emails, what have you, how many events you might need, and then the funding and the support from an MDF perspective. So it's that whole front end of the process that's the actual demand generation that is really critically important, that is taken away, again, that kind of hoping and praying approach to the marketplace, and very, very prescriptive. And it's all based on some very simple inputs, and then it will spit it out. And then, of course, you can change the input. So if you want to do a little bit of what if, but then it's giving you and giving your team a very prescriptive plan on how you're going to approach the number and when you can expect to see that success, as long as you're following the methodology. And the other thing that I'd call out is this doesn't replace a selling methodology like Medic or Spin or Challenger or what have you. This is complementary because it's essentially mapping out the plan of the demand generation, how we're going to get there. You're still going to use the same sales engagement models like Medic and others once you get to live deals and live quotes.
Yeah, you keep accidentally segueing nicely, Brent. That's
not my plan, but it's working out.
It's working out. It's working out. So when we move into the sales acceleration, where we're building sales plays and recipes that overlay an account mapping process, giving a seller all the steps they need to identify high probability accounts, as we're mapping relationship scores, as we're giving them the messaging we want them to go and deliver, as we're going through all of that, we're building sales plays based on the sales methodology that the company is putting in place. So if you're using Spin Selling, we put in a certain set of questions. If you're using Medic, we're looking at certain metrics that we're trying to add into this, and how we're targeting economic buyers and the language that we're using in there. So all these sales plays are built to map directly into a vendor's sales process. The other thing that I would add in this is the strategy profiling. Something we do that's very unique that other people don't do is we run a strategy profile. So we're looking at your solution strength, and we're picking the right positioning strategy. We're looking at your market opportunity based on your solution strength, and we're picking the right growth strategy and how we're going to map that into the sales play. We're looking at the partner's ability to execute, and we're coming up with our development strategy of that partner. We're looking at the incentives, and we're figuring out how we're aligning incentives to create the right behavior. So strategy profiling is really important to getting the right thing out of the sales acceleration. Then the final thing, there's coverage models that we put in place. We have a structured co-sell model. There's a lot of things that go into that sales acceleration side of
Yeah,
it.
and I'd say, we talked about execution gap, keyword being execution. This is specifically about proactively helping the partner active sellers do the actual sales motions, right? So supporting them with a sales acceleration plan, and the resources and the messages and the value props and what have you that is customized and specific for that particular sales motion that we've decided to do against a very specific set of target accounts. So it's not just, again, all right, I did the math and Mr. and Mrs. Partner, good luck, let me know how it works out. This is, we're in the trenches, we're helping them do that, we're helping them execute, and we're doing the execution with them as we go.
Yep, 100%. And then the final thing here is, hey, it's great for us to go and run the metrics. It's great for us to build the sales acceleration methodology and resource that. But this goes back to the gap. How do I know what people are actually doing? How do I know if my strategy is actually working? How do I move away from this sort of partner and pray model where you need performance intelligence? We have to understand what people are doing, when they're doing it, what are the outcomes of that? Not to micromanage partner sellers. Like, these tools in my mind are not meant to do that. They're meant to find the issues so that we can solve them. That's what this is meant to do. So up on the screen here, we have a Salesforce deployment of a methodology. This math equation that I showed earlier is depicted on the screen here in in that little Salesforce dashboard. So it's the exact same math equation I showed. Below that is the trending analysis. So it's showing the trending on each one of those elements. And all of that is tying back to the metrics that we defined up front. So we know, here's our plan, here's what we're executing against, here's what we're capturing, and we're applying that back to the metrics we put in place. So channel leaders, this is a methodology that is meant to fill in that gap. So